Who were your parents?
Archie, Benton, Reed, and Esther Lou Collins. Well, my dad was a farmer most of his life, and he done a lot of apple peddling and hauling wheat. I had two sons and a daughter, and two sisters and two brothers. I went to school in the first grade here. My first year, I went to school in the lunchroom, which was across the road from the Cane Hill College on the north side. And they called it the lunchroom, and there was 3 grades in it. And Miss Irwin's one that taught it. Oh, it was a lot of fun. James Irwin was in the Army. He was in the Second World War, and she was worrying about him. So when we'd have recess, we'd go out and go to catching crawdads. Recess was over, we didn't quit. We just kept catching crawdads. My sister Bonnie was in 2 grades ahead of me. And I had another sister a year older than that, who was a grade ahead of her. And my brother was in behind me. And then my little brother, he was on back behind that. Well, I lived at Archie Reed Place till I was about 19. I moved to south part of Federal. I don't remember the name of the little street. Lived there for 2 years. Then I moved to Johnson, lived there for 16 years. Then I moved back down here to Orville and Margaret Lofton farm. I bought it, and I've been living there ever since. I've had cattle the whole time. I had chickens for about 8 years, and then I went back to strictly cattle. Well, I remember Shaker Yates' store here. We'd come down and buy a penny pencil we could buy, or we could buy a 2-cent pencil. That was the number 2 pencil, but we'd buy that penny pencil. When I was first and second grade, that is what we could afford. And we'd buy candy if we had the money, ice cream, and just look around. Once in a while, if we'd go to Prairie Grove or Lincoln, and Dad had 5 kids, and a bunch of us would be riding in the back. That was common. That was just an everyday occurrence. There was usually one seated truck, and everybody had to have a truck, and the kids all had to ride in the back. Well, in the summertime, we helped bale hay, helped haul hay. I helped haul hay loose for a year or 2. We'd put stacking on a wagon, and I was one of doing the stacking onto the wagon. We'd haul it with a pitchfork. We'd haul it in. We had a fork in the barn. We'd pick it up and take it into the barn. We'd load up the wagon just heavy as we'd get, and that was about 15 bales. Back before Dad's time, they had apples. They had 90 acres of apples on that farm. We'd usually walk to church, and then we'd walk back home. Dad was usually always going either peddling or working or doing something, and so we'd walk to church. Yeah, he'd have the truck. Mom didn't drive. He had the one vehicle. Well, we played horseshoes and run around, and we milked cows. We milked cows every morning and night, year round. Most of the time, we wrestled and run races and played ball. We done lots of wrestling back in them days. There wasn't a great lot of time left for fun. They didn't have much entertainment. They mostly just stayed there at home and visited neighbors. They had neighbors come in. When I was pretty young, Dad got a television. He had neighbors come in every night. They had one family that stayed there till 2 o'clock in the morning when the television signed off. They had good water here for a long time, and the state kind of condemned it, and they had to put in city water. But that old college water up there by the college there, the spring, it was mighty good water for a long time, and it sure tasted good. We had several springs. They had one at Clyde, and then I've got one on my place. And my brother's got one on his place around behind the bluff. And then you go on to the other side of the road, and it's not in water. And a lot of them, they'd have to haul water. So they like to be around the springs. Really, my home place, though, was Clyde. That was my actual farm, or town. But we used to come to school, we come to Cane Hill. Dad bought me some shoes at Clyde one time. They were button-up shoes. They lasted 3 days. They busted all to pieces. The last graduating class was in '49 of Cane Hill College, or school. And I left in 53, I guess it was. I left the 7th grade, so that'd been 51 or 2.
Where'd you go?
I went to Lincoln to school. I drove a truck from the time I was 15 until I was 18. Then I worked at the cannon factory for a year. I run a capper. And then I drove a truck for Ernest Ball, which he owned the cannon factory. And I'd go haul tomatoes when we needed them hauled. And then if I wasn't doing that, I'd run the capper. Made a whole 75 cents an hour. It was either 55 or 56. When I started working at the light company, well, that was one of the requirements. We had to be living close. In Fayetteville, I didn't hardly know my next door neighbor. I knew one or two, and that was about it. Down here, I knew everybody around. About everybody in Cane Hill and Clyde and Morrow. Just about all around.